It's another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of our live Saturday broadcast from InWheelTime.com. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@InWheelTime.com. This is the award-winning car talk show, In Wheel Time, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, and Jeff Zekin sitting right over there. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us on this Saturday. And, of course, my buddy Seth Angel at Houston Motorsports Park was supposed to join us, and we're trying to reach him as we speak. Busy guy, and he's getting ready for the big drag race coming up here in a few weeks. And so there's that. But I do have something in the racing world that I would like to share with you, and that is my favorite place in the whole wide world is Houston Motorsports Park, and another race coming up, and that's going to be in 2 weeks, October the 17th, and this race that's coming up is called Boobs Rock. I love it.
Thanks, Gina.
Gina Child-Knowles, the promoter out there, a good friend of mine, I'm proud to say, came up with Boobs Rock. And it is a breast cancer awareness race, if you will. And along with that is going to be a powder puff eco-stock race, Boobs Rock.
Okay.
I thought you were going to be out there topless with your man boobs.
Again. And those are moobs, thank you. But at any rate, so that's going to be on October the 17th. All classes of racing will be out there that particular day. But also Rod Ryan's show Cares.
He had a car built.
Yeah.
And he's going to be out there from the radio station. And if you haven't been out to Houston Motorsports Park, you need to go because it is a fun time, and they put on good racing.
Hot dogs, dollar beers, woo-hoo.
That's Jeff back over there.
Yeah.
Dollar dog, dollar beer. We can't beat it.
That's it. And it's family friendly. There's always tons of kids there.
And they usually do a flyover.
They're not going to do a fly. Well, we don't know, but gates open at 5. Racing starts at 6. And reason being is because the sun continues to set
earlier and
earlier. So we're thinking maybe not. And I talked to her about that. I asked her that question. She said, I'm not sure because of it's the commemorative Air Force that does the flyovers, and they've been doing a great job. And the crowd loves it, and they fly over.
Cool planes, too.
Somehow they managed to time all of that. So right at the end of the national anthem, there they go right across the track. It's really cool. How they time it, I don't know, but they seem to manage to get all that done.
They don't use
they use the in-wheel time.
And he laughs at his own jokes.
Somebody has to. Nobody else will.
That's right.
Oh, Lord. Tickets are available at NASCARHouston.com, and I can tell you it's $15 for adults and I think $5 for kids. It's a great value, and every race now throughout the summer since, COVID, there's been more and more people, and we had an absolute riot last time. As a matter of fact, the people out there started the wave. Remember the wave? Everybody gets up. Yeah. They were doing that up and down the stands. It was so cool. And, yes, we all stand for the national anthem, and we bow our heads in prayer before the race. And the drivers are all behind it, and they get out there and do the driver introductions. It is a symbiotic relationship between the drivers and the crowd, and it is great local fun.
And you're welcome to wander through the pits before the races and stuff as well.
You got to have a pit pass to do that.
It's small cost.
Yeah. So, but it is a great time to be had by all, and I encourage you to come on out there. Also, still no Seth? I don't know what in the world has happened to that boy. He's probably sleeping in. He says, Yeah, I told him that the other day when I tried to set up this interview. He says, yeah, there's none of that. You know, he's got the 2 girls, so that's not.
No sleeping in, huh?
Yeah, there's no sleeping in. So at any rate, I did want to mention the fact that coming up tomorrow, and going to be the first Sunday of every month, is my buddy Craig Bierman, who we all know on this show with Speed and Sport Chrome Plating. As first Sunday of every month cruise in, it's called Chrome and Coffee. Cars and Trucks Cruise In, 9 a.m. to noon tomorrow, and it's at the old Sharpstown Country Club, which the city bought and is now the Sharpstown Golf Course, over near Bel Air Boulevard and Gessner. Okay, it's really close to that intersection in southwest Houston. 6600 Harbortown Drive is the address over there. As a matter of fact, my buddy Chaz Miller at Channel 13 did a great piece this week on Prince's Hamburgers, which is now located there. So it's a perfect marriage there to have a cruise in Sunday morning. There are a few golfers there, but not many, so uses the parking lot for the cruise in. And Prince's makes breakfast tacos if that's what you want. I had them. They're excellent. But if you wait till like 11 o'clock or so and you're getting ready to get you some of them Prince's burgers and some fresh dipped onion rings and a chocolate shake.
So I love the fresh dipped onion rings. I hate those frozen ones.
Yeah, well, Prince's Burgers has been, how long have they been in Houston?
Since the 1930s.
So you've been eating there the whole time?
Since the day they opened.
Okay. I don't have any of this down today.
That first dollar bill that's hanging up there on the wall is signed by Don Armstrong.
I'm out. That's it. I got it now. Y'all go ahead.
Well, last month, Toyota dealers sold 21,000 Tacomas for its top-selling truck, and they were up 14% compared to September of 19. So the car business as a business is doing fairly well in today's market, even with all the COVID stuff. The struggle some of them are having is they're running out of inventory. So when you go by some of the GM stores, they are virtually out of trucks, and it kind of hurt them because Ram again passed Chevrolet to become the number 2 truck seller in the month of September. And, F-150 is perennially the top seller, and they sold about 250,000 trucks, Ford did, in September. Ram sold 156,000 trucks in September, and Chevrolet only sold 147,000 Silverados. So Ram Trucks was number 2 for the month, but they're still about 10,000 vehicles behind for the year. But if they have another couple of months together like they've just had, they're going to surpass Chevrolet to become the number 2 truck seller in the nation.
Who is this?
Ram.
Yeah,
they were number 2 for September.
The Winnie Chrysler dealer, Ram Jeep dealer, the Ford shop closed down about a year and a half ago.
You mean to tell me they have a dealership in Winnie, Texas?
Yes, sir. Right there on the interstate. And he draws people out of Houston, Baytown. He draws them all out of Mid-County. But anyway, so whenever the Ford shop closed down across the highway from him, he bought that. That's where he moved all his used inventory to.
Right.
And so he expanded and filled that space up with more vehicles, with Jeeps and Rams and Chrysler products and stuff. And he was blowing and going, and he's down now. You could tell by the way he parks his vehicles. He's got about half the inventory because he's parking them sideways,
spreading them out a little bit,
trying to make it look like it's still full. But I mean, he is. My youngest has bought 2 vehicles from him. The oldest girl, I think her husband bought one from him. I mean, there's a lot of people down there. It's only 23 miles.
Right.
I mean, that's here in Houston. You can't get any place without going 23 miles. Yeah. So he was blowing and going, and so I watch him whenever I go by on the highway, and I can tell by him.
Well, here's some local new car dealer news, which we rarely have. ZT Motors, you ever heard of them? Mm-mm. The automotive dealership unit of private equity and wealth management firm ZT Corporate of Houston has purchased 3 Ron Carter Autoland dealerships in Texas as ZT looks to expand in the southeast portion of the United States. The purchase stores in Alvin are Ron Carter Chevrolet Buick GMC, Ron Carter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Jeep Ram and Ron Carter Ford. ZT said it will retain the Ron Carter name.
And the name Ron Carter has been there for 40 years now.
Yeah.
But there is,
It's changed hands several times throughout the years. Yeah.
There is no Ron Carter.
No, there never has been a Ron Carter.
It was Ron Slank and Charles Carter, and they put it together as Ron Carter because I called on him with General Motors. And it was funny as heck. Every now and then you get some customer to come in and goes, well, I'm going to call Ron Carter and
I'm going to call him personally.
I know him. He's my neighbor. I'm like, oh, well, that's just wonderful.
Yes. Whatever happened to Ron Slank? I knew him.
Yep. Just retired out of the car business.
Okay.
And then, and then they also have a DBA, which is doing business as is a Ron Carter Cadillac that is out on I-45 in Webster. So, Ron Carter is a name. And then there's a Ron Carter CDJR on 45 down in Dickinson as well. There's no Ron Carter Association. They're all separate.
That is so
but they
funny.
Continue to do business with. But, yeah, there was no Ron Carter. It was Ron Slank and Charles Carter, who were, icons in the car business here in Houston for quite a long time.
Well, I knew Ron Slank. He was a very personable guy.
Very, very nice guy.
Very nice guy. Mm-hmm.
You were talking about somebody coming in. I'm going to talk to Ron Carter. John Keating, the Keating family. He had Keating Chevrolet down there.
Keating Oldsmobile.
Yep.
JK.
JK, John, the guy I worked with, bought a car from John's dealership. He was, he was one of those deals. He was going to go in there, by golly, and he was going to talk to John Keating because he knew John Keating. He walked in that showroom. He started running his mouth. Where's John? I'm going to talk to John. John knows me. And John's sitting over in the corner reading the paper and just kind of looks up over the paper, He didn't know that guy from the Man in the Moon. And he went back to reading his paper. And
the guy never even noticed him.
No, he didn't know him from the Man in the Moon, but he was sure in there talking big. I'm going to talk to John Keating.
And that happens a lot.
And you'll also want to know that the nation's franchised auto luxury and exotic dealerships, new vehicles usually are the stars of the showroom, but with the new vehicle production pipeline squeezed by COVID-19, 2020 has been anything but ordinary for elite brands. Inventories are tight, used models are commanding higher prices, and service has taken on even greater importance. So when you want to go buy your Aston Martin Vantage or whatever it is that you want to buy, you might have a little bit of a problem getting a hold of one of those.
Well, but that's affected all the car industry.
Correct.
As it happened, the high level cars as well. They don't build as many of them. But when you stop production and for 3 months and the pipeline empties, it takes a while to refill the pipeline.
And it has affected the used car market.
It's gone way up.
Well, it has, although things have started to level out and come back a bit now that car production is trying to catch up.
Right.
But, dealer supplies have been very low. As a matter of fact, the lowest since, I think, memory serves me correctly from the story, it was 2011 was the previous low level of car inventory. So finding a car that you want has been a bit of a challenge if you want something that has, plaid upholstery and a black car, those kind of specific
if you
things.
get kind of picky, then...
Well, it's the law of supply and demand. So as that happens, the price of cars go up. The price of new cars goes up because the inventory is down. And it's not the price goes up, the transaction price goes up because they don't have as many to sell. They're not as willing to discount them. The manufacturers don't have very many of them as well to deliver, so the incentives go down because the day's supply goes down. Then that in turn drives the used car prices up as well. So it's all intermingled with how it affects everything else. And I didn't read that, so I could tell by the look on your face. Mars is in trouble again.
I need my computer to find out if I'm in trouble or not. So, no, I don't need it right now. It's too late.
Yeah.
So, the price of used cars got to remember, Hertz dumped 100,000 cars on the used car market back in the summer as Hertz revamped themselves and dumped a whole lot.
Filed for bankruptcy.
And dumped a whole bunch of inventory.
Yeah.
And had that not happened, the price of used cars would be even higher because they put a nice surge of cars into inventory at the auction houses, but auction prices are way up versus what they were. Talking to a couple of my friends in the used car industry as well.
All right, let's take a quick break here, and we're going to regather ourselves, and we'll be right back. This is the In Wheel Time Car Show. Thanks for joining us.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You know, I just have to admit to everybody that this show has kind of always been, but more so since we've moved into Studio A, more about herding cats than it has been about anything else. So I just thought I would mention that. But at any rate, so welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Show. Thanks for joining us for this Saturday. Seth texted and said, sorry, he never got a Zoom invite, so that's why he's not joining us. But we're going to try to reschedule him maybe for next weekend.
Yeah, because you don't want to schedule them the weekend after. That's when the track's going to be busy.
If the lights don't go out in the studio. I did pay the bill, but you never know over here in Sugar Land. All right, so there was a very interesting little thing that Conrad posted on our Facebook page, if you're familiar with that. If you're not, go to facebook.com/inwheeltime, and you'll get our feed. And you get there's all sorts of good stuff on there, I have to admit.
A lot of fun stuff.
So there was a thing that, a little story that I thought I'd print out this morning and read to you from Kayla Sue. I got pulled over on I-44 for going 7 miles over the speed limit. As the officer started walking up to my car, I rolled down my window. My adorable and apparently incredibly smart 4-year-old niece started screaming from the back seat, "It's coming out! I can't hold it any longer. It's almost here." So the trooper, hearing her scream, said, as he leans in the window and asks her what's going on here, she looks at him dead in the face and says, "I've got poop coming out."
It's turtling.
So the officer started laughing. Looked like the girl was about to cry. He asked how far I had to go, which was about 2 miles home. He told me to drive safe and get Miss Thang home to do her business. He could not stop laughing as he walked back to the car. As soon as we pulled away, I asked, "What in the world is that about?" Kid smirked and said, "I saw it on YouTube, and I just thought it might work here, too." "Sure." I said, "So you're not pooping?" She said, "No."
And she didn't get a ticket?
Not in trouble either. Oh, my God, the kid's a hero. I thought that was a pretty funny story.
Well, I remember you and I did that on the way to Austin one time.
Pooping?
No, I was speeding. Don was pooping. And the cop let us go. Heck, the cop turned his lights on and got us all the way to Buc-ee's.
I thought, you know,
thought we'd never tell that story. Huh?
I thought for a moment
Statute of limitations ran out.
I thought for a moment that my memory had slipped once again, and I forgot that I pooped my pants on the way to Austin, but apparently I didn't, thank God.
Thank you, Texas Highway Patrol.
Oh, Lord.
gosh.
That was a great story.
That was a great story.
You know, you find some fun stuff. And if you ever get to our Facebook page, there's lots of fun stuff. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff to read on there. Most of it's car related, some of it's not. We do a little bit of music on there because Don has a musical background. Not that he plays music on an instrument. He used to disc music, jockey music back in the day. Is that enough? Jeffrey's the only musician here amongst us.
I was going to say that, I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. Is that
so you're figuring there had to be a cut in there
well,
somewhere?
no,
there wasn't yet.
I was going to see where this was going to go because the other one obviously didn't end well either.
Well, but you didn't poop.
I didn't. At least not this time. I think that we could take an early break and we'd be better served.
You got to go?
No.
Mars is going to lose it.
We'd be better served if we just went ahead and took a break.
Okay. So now we just have to wait on the music for the break, right? You weren't prepared to take the break.
Is it poopy music?
As opposed to elevator music? So while we're waiting on that, Ford sales were down 4.9% to end the third quarter.
Nobody cares about that.
Beating the industry decline by 10%.
They're wanting to see what kind of hole we can dig for the poop.
Oh, my gosh, we've lost control.
Well, we tend to do that quite frequently on this program, at least once per show.
And that's why people join us.
Or tune out. That could
Sometimes I wonder if they're laughing with us or laughing at us. Either way, we'll take it.
And by the way, I just wanted to remind you all that your voice can be heard, too, if you dare. Just shoot us an email. That's an email and nothing else. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. We're out for a quick splash and go, and we're back with Conrad's This Week in Auto History and stories making automotive news headlines. It's all coming up. God help us. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild to wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Do I need to tell them the name of the show? I don't know whether that's safe or not. Welcome back to the In-Wheel
Just
Time
don't give
program.
him the email address.
info@inwheeltime.com because he gets it, and he should get them all. Not me, him. All right. Time now for This Week in Auto History. Conrad always has that for us.
This week in 1908, William Durant merged Buick, Oldsmobile. Eventually, he added Cadillac, Oakland, which was the predecessor to Pontiac, AC Sparkplug, and Fisher Body, and joined them all together and became General Motors. Prior to that, they were all individuals, and then brought them all together. 1929. The first cornerstone of the Henry Ford Museum was laid today, and that was the first step into establishing one of the most extensive collections of automotive history in the world. And I think we've all been out there to the Ford Museum. What a great trip! What a great trip that is! What a wonderful place it is to visit. In 1937. Duesenberg was forced to close its doors forever. And Duesenberg was considered the most luxurious car in the world. Handcrafted, custom-made cars that.
What year was this?
1937.
Really? They closed in 1937. Well, of course.
And again, they were the epitome of cars, and the phrase of it's a doozy, the symbol of opulence. So yeah, what a shame that it had to go away. It was really destroyed pretty much by the Depression, and then they were gone before World War II started. On September 30th, 1955, at 5:45 p.m., 24-year-old actor James Dean was killed this week in Chalome, California. I can't pronounce it, but
Shalom, California.
Chalome, California. Hello. Which is
we would call it Chalamet.
Chalamet, California.
Lord.
Thank you.
Really?
I just made that.
Well, it sounds good.
It sounded as good as what you said.
But it's on a road north of Paso Robles, California, out in the country, and I've driven on the road. I didn't realize that that's where the marker was for James Dean's passing. But a pretty fun little road to drive, and I'm sure that's why he was out there driving his Porsche 550 Spyder. And he was struck by a 23-year-old Cal Poly student who was basically uninjured while Dean was killed, and his mechanic that was riding with him was seriously injured. In 1978, this week, car and driver editor Don Sherman set a Class E record at the Bonneville Short Flats, driving
Salt Flats.
Salt Flats. Why did I say short? No,
Short.
It says salt. I said short. So, Salt Flats, driving a Mazda RX-7 with the rotary engine, and he went 183 miles an hour in that car, which is pretty amazing for the rotary to get that kind of speed. But
out there, you got plenty of room to wind it up. Let it go.
And then in 1982, the first showing of the TV series Knight Rider was on. So this week was the date that it started.
Where the car talked and drove.
And the car's name was KITT.
Yes.
And what did KITT stand for?
Tell me.
Knight Industries 3000. KITT. With the star David Hasselhoff. Soon to be the star of Baywatch.
And YouTube.
And quite the singer in Germany.
And
he is.
You know, I modeled my body after watching Baywatch.
The one after he went on YouTube.
Is that the one where he's laying on the floor eating a hamburger, drunk as a skunk? Yeah, I've seen you there, Don.
I recognize that.
So that's this week in automotive news, automotive history.
Oh. Sounds like a bunch of poop to me.
Speaking of automotive news, Ford Motor Company executives hopeful that dealers will convert an incredibly high percentage of Bronco SUV reservations into actual sales and believe they'll be filling those orders for more than a year.
I think they will.
Automaker on Friday reached out to its U.S. retail network in a video to describe the allocation process of one of the most highly anticipated vehicle launches in its history. Ford began building Bronco pre-production models at its Michigan assembly plant this week and plans to deliver the first off-roaders starting in late spring of next year. Ford earlier this week said the Bronco build and price site will go live in October. Beginning in December and continuing through January, dealers will work with customers to convert their $100 refundable deposit into an actual sale, confirming accessory purchases, final prices, and financing options. Ford expects to offer customers an approximate time frame on their vehicle's build starting date late in the first quarter.
And the nuttiness has started because people are selling their position on that list.
Oh, my God.
Really?
For more than the $100. For substantially more than the $100. But, you know,
why didn't we think of that? For $100.
We could have gone to every Ford dealer in town and got our name on
the list.
Yeah, got on the list. And then marketed it.
They're going to absolutely sell out of that truck. I don't think they're going to have to worry about pre-selling everyone they're going to build for the first year. Yeah.
Okay, well. You know, I've got thoughts about buying a first-run anything.
Yeah, but we just needed to buy that $100 ticket and resell it.
Well, either that or actually buy one and then sell it for an extra $20,000 because those people that have the money
We'll spend it.
Yeah,
that happens over and over again as well. So you heard Daimler, it's not Chrysler anymore, is they named a new CEO, Demetrius Salakis, and he'll take over as head of Mercedes-Benz North America effective January 1st.
Rolls right off your tongue. That's it for this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Show. More after a quick break. Hey, thanks for checking us out. Don Armstrong saying be sure and join us live every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time on YouTube, Facebook, and InWheelTime.com. Our podcasts are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. We'll see you next time.